Okay, guys and girls, we finally got it, our brand new Tracker 195. And I'm telling you what, this baby is ready to rock and roll. You know, it says a Pro 190 here on the sticker, but it's not. It's a 195. It's not a 190. It's a Tracker 195. I've got it equipped with a 4-stroke, 150 horsepower Mercury Pro XS. It's absolutely incredible motor. I've got a really good prop on there, 24 pitch prop, another Mercury prop, a Tempest, and it's just a tremendous prop. You're looking back here in the back, you'll notice that we've got power poles on here, twin power poles. If you only got one power pole, if you power pole down, your boat's gonna go around and it's gonna blow around a lot. You got two, wherever you stop it, you can stop it. So you definitely need 2 power poles. These are just standard power poles is what they are, which works out great. The brackets fit on this Tracker really good. Just a perfect situation there. You can see back here, I've got my Garmin transducer right there. Now I've got live scope on this boat, and we get up to the front of the boat, we'll talk about the live scope and what we've got right there. This Tracker 195 is really tricked out. I mean, it's really tricked out. It's about rigged as well as you can possibly wig it. I didn't put a stereo sound system in there because I just don't listen to music and stuff out there when I'm fishing. I'm just fishing. You got tie downs, of course, come with the boat. Trailers made it perfectly for them. This trailer is designed perfectly for this boat. It's a drive-on trailer. You can just drive it up there, hook it on, unload it, and you unhook it, load it back into the water until it floats off. Get ready to load it, pull it right up there, snub it against the top, hook it, latch it down, and you're in good shape. So this is the back of the boat. Everything looks good on here. We'll just kind of walk up toward the front a little bit, and then we'll get inside and really look at the things that go on the boat. Like I said, the trailer is a drive-on trailer. Comes with great, beautiful wheels on it. You know, those are just really sharp-looking racing wheels on there. Johnny's big time into NASCAR, and so that's why the Tracker boat trailers really look good. Over here, you've got a couple of nice storage boxes. Both these storage boxes have inserts in them where everything will stay good and dry. This boat is equipped with a blue water light kit. I've got a blue water LED light kit in here. I'll turn that on and show you what it looks like in a minute. It's daylight out here, so it's not going to show real good, but I'm telling you what, they are sexy lights. They are just really cool lights. And as a matter of fact, let me see what I can do here. Look at that. That's in the daytime, but you can see, you know what that'd be early in the morning or late in the evening. That'd just really be cool right there. I love those deck lights. Those are blue deck lights. I put them in my Ranger boats. I put them in my Tracker boats. They're just absolutely fantastic. We'll get in that boat here and look here in just a minute. I just want to kind of run through the outside of it and kind of show you what we've got. Wheel bearings, you got the wheel bearings are solid in that boat there. They're really good. Come up here, we've got a spare tire. Again, you can kind of take a little bit better look at that racing wheel that's on there. It's just really a cool looking wheel. That's an easy to get to. If you happen to have a flat tire, you get something, have a flat tire on your boat trailer that's easy to get to that spare, easy to put in there, easy to take off. And that's exactly what you want. That's actually just lug nuts on there holding that in, and it works out really good. Up here on the front, this is a new deal that's been on a lot of the boats nowadays. I guess it's on about every boat that Tracker builds. I don't know if it's an option or if it just comes standard on the boat, but it is really slick. It's like an easy step. You know, I use an easy step on my Ranger. This allows you to get up in the boat really easy. You can just stand up here, step here. You can go ahead and step up to here. You got this to hold on to. Step on up in the boat, whatever you want to do. Step back down. That's real simple. That's real simple also. You got a nice step where you can do that. Easy to get in and out. I got to tell you, as I get older, this is a cool deal right here. This is really cool. When you come over on this side of the boat, you got a really nice jack system. The one thing I like about the Tracker jack systems is you don't really have to have that all the way up. You don't have to have that all the way up to pull it up. See, it's almost down right then. You can still pull that jack system up if you want. Make sure that locks in. Doesn't have to be all the way up. This situation here on your winch, you've got an extra rope, extra strap right here. That's in case something happens. You forget to hook that up, or you get that right there and it breaks or something like that. You got an extra system that'll hold it. If this was to somehow, you didn't get this latch, your boat slides back a little bit. It can't slide any further than that right there. So you got a great winch system. Like I said, these drive-on trailers, you can pull that thing right up there, bump it up, fasten it, and you're ready to go. Up here on the front, they put a little deal in here where you can put your light switch. You can bring it back here and fasten it right in there so it's done out of the way. You can't drag it. Don't have to worry about that. You've got a pin that fits right here in your trailer tongue. So once you latch that down, you put that pin in, you can't open it. It won't open at all. Now you notice here's one thing that I've done, and I do this with all my vehicles. I put these big clips on there. You see this right here? That makes it a lot easier when you get ready to hook these things up. You're ready to unhook them and unhook them. You don't have to worry about what, this is all up under here. A lot of trucks are really hard to get to. Reach over there to that, hook that baby up. A lot easier to hook those up if you put these on. You can buy those at Tractor Supply. They're $3 or $4, so it really works out really, really good. I guess that's about the only thing to think about here. Got a big Kurt trailer hitch on there that is adjustable. I can move that up or down depending on what, how high I want my trailer. And for towing, you adjust that around to where you get the very best towing and the very best gas mileage. Tell you what, let's do. That's about everything on the outside of the boat to look at. Let's get inside and look at what's really important. My office up there. What you do when you go fishing, the inside of the boat. That's what's really cool. This 195 has got the Revolution hull in it. A Revolution hull is a smooth riding hull. You can take this boat out in really, really rough water. It's a big boat, 19.5 foot. Big and wide, got a big front deck. This is as close as you can get to having a big $75,000, $100,000 bass boat right here. Much, much, much less expensive. 150 horsepower motor. Obviously not nearly as expensive as the big 250 or 300 horsepower motors. Great 4-stroke engine, very, very economical on gas. And you've got a great fishing machine, Okay, here's what I've got up front. This is where we do all the work up here. This is the important part. And you start out here, I've got a big Minn Kota Ultrex trolling motor. And I changed the trolling motor out. This is an 80-pound thrust. An 80-pound thrust, it's an iPilot. You can operate it with a hand-operated switch you want, or you can operate it with your foot switches. Your box is recessed down in here, so when you're standing up here, you're standing level. You're not standing one foot up and 1 foot down. You're standing level, so you can operate that up there because of your recessed box. Your recessed box has a couple drink holders in it. You cannot have too many drink holders in a boat. Just absolutely cannot have too many drink holders in a boat. Over here on the side, completely out of the way, I've got my hydrowave sitting there. It's totally out of the way where it's not my reels in here that I'm laying up here, not gonna get in the way of it. The hydrowave creates sounds under the water like schooling shad or moving shad, feeding fish. It's got all kinds of different sounds you can put under the water. I actually put my underwater speaker right up here. This is my hydrowave speaker. I mounted it right on the shaft of my Ultrex trolling motor. And that works just perfectly right there. It's on there real tight with a clip, and it's just a perfect situation. Now you can see how I've got my LiveScope transducer mounted. This is my LiveScope transducer. I put my Garmin right here in the middle. I got my Garmin right here in the middle. I normally have it over here on the side on a gimbal mount, but I decided to go ahead and stick that thing right in the middle. Once I have my trolling motor down, it's going to be a clear view there, and I've got all of this room over here that I can stand up here. I can have my reels laying here. I can do whatever on this side over here. I got my power pole buttons right here. These buttons right here operate my power pole up and down, so I can operate my power pole with my foot right there, no problem whatsoever. On this side over here, I've got my buttons for my Rite Hite turret. And this Rite Hite turret, if you'll see, what it does is it turns this around, turns my transducer around so I can scope and look around independently of my trolling motor moving. See what that does right there? That turns that around. So as I'm going down the lake fishing, if I want, I can scan around no matter which way my trolling motor is pointing. If I want to take and move that over as I'm going down the bank and point it up ahead of me at a 45-degree angle, I can do that, point it at a 45-degree angle as I'm fishing, and I'm looking at the water as I'm going down. My boat's going in and out, but I'm looking right down there up in front of me as I'm fishing. Here's another great situation that Rite Hite came out with. This Rite Hite turret is far and away the best turret you can get. Here's another great, this is simply just a spacer block that is between your trolling motor and your turret. You just set it right in here. You see it mounts right here underneath, and it's solid. So that's solid, so it doesn't bounce, it doesn't move around. You can see as you bounce in rough water, it's not gonna bounce up and down. You got a cover over it. It's not gonna be pushing down or putting any pressure on this up here because it's all right here and right here. It's a good solid unit. Here's another little Rite Hite invention. These are clips. These clips are made where your wires go through. You're not pinching your wires. You're not having to wrap them with tape. You're not having to use a wire tie or anything on them. You just use these simple little clips. I got 3 clips on here. They're easy to move things around. If you need to adjust these around and get them perfect, once you get out there and start fishing, you might want to make some adjustments in this cable right here. These clips, this is another Rite Hite product. Rite Hite's got a lot of products out on the market besides this turret. But the turret is a must for using a live scope transducer. It fits all forward-facing transducers. Of course, I use Garmin, but if you're using one of the other brands, the Rite Hite turret still fits those perfectly, and it works out really, really good. My Ultrex trolling motor, it's got a kickstand here that fits down where this thing will not bounce around. It's solid as a rock, so you can be in extremely rough water. Your turret, your live scope transducer is solid. Your trolling motor's solid. Everything's solid right here. This whole thing, it just becomes a part of the boat, a part of the boat. Minn Kota Ultrex, of course, has got a weedless prop on it. You can run that thing in the heaviest vegetation you want, and it just works incredibly, incredibly well. Incredibly well. I think my buddy Roland Martin actually developed that years and years ago. This little deal you see sitting up here at the top, some of you might be wondering what that is. That is the receiver for my GPS, so we can run the GPS. I've got GPS on the front and the back. Both the locators have got GPS. I've got 2 locators on here, 2 10-inch Garmins. Now I've got these Ethernetted together. Now what that means is I can be running this and show the exact same thing back there. So if I got somebody fishing in the other end of the boat, which I do have a lot, I can be running my live scope up here and I can tell somebody, you see that fish out there at 1 o'clock. You can see that fish at 1 o'clock. Well, he can see that fish on that back locator. He doesn't have to be able to see the front one. He can see that fish and he knows he needs to cast right out there. Or I can tell him, right out there at 3 o'clock from where I am right here is a fish. The fish is going to be right out there. He can see that back here. When he throws out there, he'll be able to see that fish and be able to know where to cast. So it's very, very important to have everything linked together, Ethernetted together, where you're basically these units talk to each other. That way you got, and you can have them on 2 separate pages. You can have different things there, but when I'm fishing with a live scope in particular, I like to at least have a half of that screen back there on letting that guy see the same thing I'm seeing up here at the front. So as I explain something, he can actually see that on that locator back there. This is the most important part of the boat right here. This is where we're able to look at fish. We're able to use the turret to move our transducer around whichever way we want. I tell you what I do a lot of times using that turret is I will set this arrow. You got an arrow up here at the front of the boat. I'll set it dead in the center so it's pointing forward. I'm reading 30 degrees out there, dead forward. I can then take my trolling motor and swing the bow of the boat back and forth, and I know that what I'm looking at is dead in the center of that boat. So as it swings over here, that's what I'm looking at. It swings back over here, this is what I'm looking at. As opposed to having to look down and see which way your trolling motor is. If you'll set that, and this is the way I find a lot of fish out in open water. Instead of scanning this around, I'll scan that around. As I go down the bank, I'll scan it around to stay on a fish or stay on a group of fish or stay on a piece of structure. But I will set it in the middle and then just use the middle of the boat as my big giant pointer as I move back and forth. And then when I see something, I know it's right out there in front of the boat. It's right out there in front of the boat. So this is the front of the boat. It's a very, very important part. You got tie down straps up here, so you can, once you just throw those over your rods, snap them down, run down the water wide open, your rods are not going to fly out of the boat. The boat's got really, really fancy tie downs all the way around. These are the same tie downs you'd find in $100,000 fiberglass boats. These are extremely, extremely good tie downs. Very good tie downs. They clip down out of the way, so if your rod's laying over here, you don't have to worry about your rod getting up under here. You pick your rod up and you break a rod. Just about every fisherman's done that. So when you're not using them as a tie down, you just put them down in that position. That way your rod just slide over the top. And you're not going to break any rods, those type tie downs. The boat comes with 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Moving to the middle of the boat, you get into this massive front deck. You see what the size of this deck? By the way, the seats, extremely comfortable seats. The pedestals are screw-in pedestals, so you set them in there and screw them down. Very easy to get your pedestals in and out. You will not have to fight that to get that in and out at all. This seat just comes off. You can pull that down, put the seat down to trailer it with your cover on here. I use a cover. My cover actually fits on here and fits over my Rite Hite transducer and still fastens down good and tight. They've got tremendous covers that come with this boat. On both sides, you have rod boxes. Here's one rod box on this side. It's a big giant rod box, as you can see. It's got tubes in the front where you put the front of your rods. It's got holders in the back. It's got, again, the same thing over here on this side. So this boat is equipped to handle, oh my goodness, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 rods here, 12 rods there. 24 rods in these long storage boxes. 24 rods is set to handle. In addition to that, you know, you can put your life jackets and whatever you want to put over here. You can storage a lot. Most people will put maybe rods on one side and put life jackets or whatever, tackle boxes on the other. But in addition to these big storage boxes, this front deck, it's made to give you a tremendous amount of fishing room, also gives you an awesome amount of storage. You can see you got your bars in here to hold your lids open. Shock bars in there. You got a big storage box there. It's got storage up in the front where you can put your life jackets, put your rain gear, put whatever you want to up in the front. And then you still got a storage box here that's got sides on it where you can put tackle, put whatever you want in the middle. It's got the separation there. That is a huge, look how that thing goes way up there. It's got a front on it there so you won't lose anything up there. It can only go so far. And you have another big box right here. Another big box right here. And again, this is a, oh Lord of mercy, this is another big storage box here. You got a place to put your pliers right down here. You got more drink holders. You got holders on the side you can use for whatever. And here's something else that the boat comes with is a couple of these right here. You see what that is? That's right. That's a USB port to plug into your console. I'm going to just hold that right now and show you how that works back here in a minute. So you got these two big giant storage boxes here. Another long rod box over here holds 12 rods. Just shut those babies down. This boat has got lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of stuff. And you can buy it low monthly payments every Bass Pro Shop store in the nation. 4 cup holders right here. And I got to tell you, many times I've used all four cup holders. I've used them all. Right here is a built-in ice chest. It's really deep. When you look down in it, it will hold a lot. It's got a drain down in there so you can fill that thing full of ice and drinks, and the water will drain out and drain down into the bottom. Just an outstanding situation right there. Now you get down here and sit down behind the console. When you get down behind the console, you'll notice one thing real quickly. If you put your feet down here, you got a lot of room. You got a lot of room in between your steering wheel. You got a lot of room for your legs. It's really a nice, big, comfortable boat. The instrument panel on the 195, it's got everything you need up there. I mean, absolutely everything you need up there. You got your battery gauge, you got your water pressure gauge, you got a speedometer that's got your fuel gauge built into it, and you got your tack over here on the other side. A nice, clean looking racing type dash right there. It's just really slick. Here on the console, you got a bilge pump, your navigation lights, you got your, things fires right up every time. But you got your key over here. On this side over here, you got your live well timers. We'll talk about those. But you can run your live wells. You've got multiple pumps back there operating your live wells on both sides. You can run it on a timer, either one of them on timer or run them continuous. In tournaments, I recommend putting them on continuous and running it all day long. You want to use good Superstart AGM batteries. Your batteries will run all day. Running lights, you got running lights right here, and got a horn. And this is your 12 volt, and you can see that that is just a standard 12 volt, but looky here. It comes with a couple of these right here. Plug that baby in, you see the lights come on. Now you can plug your USB in there and keep your phone charged, keep your computer charged, keep whatever you got that runs on USB. Keep that thing, you got that right there, and you got it ready to go. Just hit your USB ports in right there. So that works out really good too. Now that is on when you have it plugged in. The key doesn't have to be on, it's on. So you can be out there fishing, have your phone charging on there and have it plugged up, so it works really, really good. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that out because of the fact that it is on. I don't want to run the battery down. Your console, your throttle is very simple. Got your power trim up and down, right on it. Mercury throttles are like the simplest throttles in the world. Simply push button right here, up here, pull that button up right here, puts it into gear, forward or reverse. Very, very simple, very, very easy to do. Real simple situation right there. Very, very good. You have a kill switch. Now, Mercury kill switch will not let you do anything if that kill switch is not hooked up. So if that kill switch is pulled, you go to start this thing, that's it. Nothing happens. See this right here? Nothing. It's just like your motor's totally dead. You hook that kill switch back up, now it'll fire up. So this kill switch, if you ever go to start that thing and it does that just one deal and nothing else, look down, your kill switch is probably unhooked. I've got my power pole buttons right over here. Again, these buttons over here operate my power poles from the console. I've also got a remote power pole switch that I can use. I can run the power poles remotely with a remote switch. I can run my trolling motor remotely with a remote switch. And these right here allow you to set your power poles in different positions, fast or slow, or one pole or both poles, or however way you want to run them. I normally run a fairly heavy speed, fairly heavy, fast up and down, and I usually keep them coordinated together because they go down at the same time, come up at the same time. This is what operates that. You can run a power pole switch remotely, like I said, with the button around your neck or fastened onto your handle right here or your steering wheel and run that. So that works out really, really great too. This little box is a little tiny storage box here. You can see I have my Minn Kota digital 3-bank charger up there. That charges 3 batteries, 10 amps per bank, 30 amp total battery charger right there. I use Minn Kota trolling motors. I use Minn Kota chargers, and they work absolutely fantastically. They're just really, 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 really good. Have no trouble whatsoever with them. Back here in the back, we've just about got the boat covered. Back here in the back, you got another great seat. Same thing, you screw in pedestal there, puts it in real easy. Now, we mentioned this box here a minute ago. You got another one identical to it over here on this side. Both of them got liners in there. You can use those actually for an ice chest too. You can put water and drinks and ice in there. They've got drain plugs in them, so they work. Here's a big deal for fishermen. Big, big live wells, 2 of them. You've got great aeration systems, dual pumps in it. You put a plug in there, plug it up where they'll be full of water and they'll overflow out. You got a center box that you can center in between. So if you have 2 fishermen in here fishing in tournaments, or you can take this out. That'll come right up, that'll slide right out where you got one big giant long live well. Boat comes with a pump out system. You can't really see it from that side. You'll pull that out, and where you can pump your live wells out. You can set it where it overflows out. Anyway, there's several different ways you can set them. Recirculate or auto. You have your timers. It's the same type aeration systems that you see, again, $75,000 to $100,000, $110,000, $120,000 fiberglass boats. It's got your pump out feature comes in the boat also. So it's just absolutely like fishing out of a big fiberglass boat. It's a lot less money, and you can put them in a lot of places a lot easier. I use this boat in a lot of places that I can't really get my big bass boat into very easily. I love to fish out of this boat, but I've had the Great Lakes, had the boat on the Great Lakes. I've had them on giant lakes all over the nation, carried it down to Mexico. Now what you got back here in the back is kind of a crowd because you got a great big gas tank sitting back there. I can't remember the exact gallons on that. I think it's like 40 some odd gallons. It probably says there on the top. Can't really read it very easily. I'm over, but anyway, that's a big gas tank. You can fill that baby up and run for a long, 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 long time. I think it's 50 gallons. I think it's, I don't know, maybe a 30-gallon tank. Maybe a 30-gallon tank. It's a really, really big tank. Now, you're kind of crowded because, again, I've got 3 batteries back here. 3 big AGM batteries. 2 batteries to run my Minn Kota, 1 battery to run everything else. And you want to buy good AGM batteries. Those are O'Reilly Superstart batteries. Buy them at any O'Reilly store. If it does go wrong, I've been using Superstart battery now for quite a few years. If anything does go wrong, you take them to any one of 6,000 O'Reilly stores around the nation and go in there, they'll check them out for you. They need to be replaced, they'll replace them. They need to be warranted, they'll warranty them. So you have service on those O'Reilly batteries just about any town in America, just about any town in America. Like I said, I haven't had any problems. I just put them in and use them. I come in at night, I charge this thing back up, plug it in, charge it up, and I'm ready to go. You got an exterior fill on your gas tanks. You don't have to get into there. All you got to do is just pop that open right there to fill your gas, to plug your trolling motors. I got my plug-in coming out right over there. All I need to do is just plug it into electricity. It's going to charge all of my trolling motor batteries. So that is a quick walkthrough on what I believe to be the finest aluminum bass boat that you can lay your hands on. Boats and motors and accessories and food and gasoline and everything has got really, really expensive in the last year or so. Things are just going up atrociously. So if you wanted to get into a really nice bass boat, a big aluminum bass boat like this, now I've got a 175 tracker too, also with a 75 on it. That's a lot more economical and a lot less money, but you also don't have nearly as big a boat as you do with this 195. A 175 tractor protein, a 195 tractor protein, I fish them a lot. It's one of my favorite things. Guys and girls, this is